So in this video, we're going to talk about how to train the pendulum. And this is important to kind of get that relationship building with your pendulum to start so that you know how the pendulum is going to work with you. And one of the things that we don't realize is sometimes, I'm going to see if my pendulum will do it for me, where when we're out of alignment, how that energy works. So it's kind of showing me a little bit differently. So you see how my pendulum's just like not really moving. When I first started with my pendulums, the whole pendulum would just vibrate. So it was almost like this vibration, and the pendulum's not going to show it to me because it's like showing that maybe for some of you it's going to be this like completely dead, where it's like you pick it up and it doesn't move, right? And so you can kind of see a little bit of vibration in it. But when we're out of alignment with our pendulum, or it's not meant for us, it's not going to train very nicely. And so when we're picking the pendulum, we want to make sure that it's in alignment with us. So when I pick it up, it should just freely swing, right? So like, show me when I'm in alignment. Okay, so I pick it up and it freely swings, right? So okay, we have a different one. So we're at the store and we're kind of picking them all up, and we can see this one's just moving instantly, right? So it's just showing me it will work with me. And so some people will have their pendulum like really move really fast, others slower. Here's the necklace that we were using in another video. And so it's like this, right? You pick it up and it's like, yeah, I'll work with you, right? Like we're instantly just moving. And so that's going to be your first telltale if you're going to be able to train it. And it doesn't mean that the pendulum's not necessarily your pendulum. So if you really feel drawn to one, but it's kind of doing that vibration or it's not moving, that's okay. You can still purchase that, or, take it home with you, whatever you were thinking. Don't deter yourself from that, because maybe you're just not vibrationally matching with it right now, but it still feels like it's kind of one of your energy frequencies, right? Okay, so to train the pendulum, we need to know which direction we want this pendulum to swing for our yes, for our no, for our like ask again, right? So we can do all different kinds of things. I have seen people where clockwise is yes and counterclockwise is no. And then I guess their back and forth would be like ask a different question, something like this. Some people do the side to side is your yes or your no, and some people do back and forth, right? So you decide what feels right for you, right? Like if you want a clear answer, right? Like back and forth and then side to side are two very different things. So you can't get that mixed up. So it's up to you to decide what feels right for you. Sometimes the pendulum like naturally does it for you when you first start. So it'll naturally kind of show you what your yes and no is. But it's up to you, right? So you decide what you want this to do. So my yes is back and forth, and I do my no as a circle. So my clockwise. And so that's for me. So what I do when I train my pendulum is we're gonna just hold it in front of us and we're gonna swing it the direction we want, right? So I'm gonna go, this is yes. And I'm just gonna swing it and I'm forcing it there, right? So then I stop it. And then again, I'm gonna go, this is yes. So you're showing that pendulum the frequency of what yes feels like. You're kind of like giving it that command, right? In more of a like loving sense, we'll say. Okay, so now that we've got our yes, we're now gonna do the same for the no. So we're gonna go, this is no. So whatever your no is, we're gonna go, this is no. We're gonna stop it. This is no. We're gonna stop it. So I'm just gonna say, okay, pendulum, show me what yes is. And it should swing to what you said. Okay, so pendulum, show me what yes is. And we're just gonna allow that pendulum to swing. Now, don't be discouraged if your pendulum's like, here's your yes, right? And just gives you a little back and forth. And then here's your no, right? Like show me no. And you just get this little one. Not everybody's going to get a huge one. The cat's looking out the window. So not everybody's going to have a big circle right off the hop, right? Depending on how much you believe in this is going to be how much it believes in you, right? Because that's that energy frequency. So if we're sitting there feeling like, I don't know about this energy stuff, this seems like BS and all this, guess what? Your pendulum's going to go like this. But this is also where your pendulum might do this, right? Where it just stops and it doesn't do anything, right? And so that's what I'm talking about, is when we're out of alignment with it. So if we don't believe that this thing is an energetic tool, it's an extension of us, it's part of our question asking and our answering and our clearing and energetic frequencies, the pendulum's going to be like, well, if you don't believe in me, I don't believe in you, right? This is no different than the way the universe works with you, the way your tarot cards work with you, right? This is all the same. It's just in a different form. So we have to remember that, and we have to really believe in it. And so when I first found out about pendulums, my mentor, she would pick it up and the thing would literally like whip like this. And I was like, what the actual, like, is this a thing? And she was just so comfortable with it and just believed in it so deeply that it was what it was for her. And so I will have the pendulum swing like that when I'm doing house clearings and stuff like this, which we'll learn about later in the course on how to kind of clear energy with the pendulum. But when I go and clear houses and stuff like that, my pendulum will get pretty crazy when the energy's heavy. However, it's not too aggressive for me, right? Like, so my back and forth will get pretty good, and my nose will show up pretty good. It just depends on what I'm doing, right? So just keep working with that. Now that we've got our yes and we've got our no, we're just going to practice that. Show me yes. Show me no. Show me yes. Show me no. So we're just going to allow that pendulum to work with us. Show me yes. And see how quick it can go back and forth. It's not going to go really quickly if you chose like one circle for one way and then like another circle for another way. It's going to have to kind of stop, where it will have to kind of do this, right? And so you got to give it a minute to actually stop and respin. So this is actually why I chose the back and forth and then the circle for my no, so that while I'm asking questions, it can just instantaneously switch directions. You see that, where it can literally just go yes, no, yes, no. So it's always clockwise for my no, which probably looks backwards on the camera for you. But once you get comfortable with it, you know when the pendulum's telling you yes or no, right? And we'll go deeper into the manipulation of the pendulum and stuff in another video. But for now, we need to learn what feels right. Is this your yes? Is this your no? Get comfortable with it. Keep practicing with it. If it's not going in the direction you want, retrain it until it does, right? So you're just going to show it, look, I've decided this is yes and this is no. So that's how we're going to work together. Maybe you need to have a little conversation with it first or after, before it's going to shift. So just keep playing with it until it actually goes to the yes and no for you. And then we'll work a little bit deeper on how we can start working with it and other things, okay?